what signs or signals to look for to know when it is the right time to increase your training volume. This is like everyone kind of wants, we all want this metric that's basically like, ding, time to level up, right? And like, you can do more, but it's not that simple. If only that were the case. And also, once again, we've talked about this multiple times. I want to normalize adjusting your training volume throughout a year and throughout any period of time. It's okay to have times when you can train more, and it's okay to have times when you train less as well. You don't have to be like this, just, always up and to the right graph that you're always doing there. What signs would you look for, Hannah, and to say that like you could, and perhaps, maybe advising an amateur athlete is different than a professional athlete like yourself here, but what signs would you look for to increase training volume?
Yeah, I would say, I said it earlier, is you can only train as hard as you can recover. So I think for this question, if you're recovering fully between every workout and you can increase the training volume and still recover, go for it. But if you are going to increase the volume, and I can get in a 2-hour ride, but then I'll have 15 minutes to shower and get to the office. And then when I get home, I'll have to, it's too much. And I think a lot of endurance athletes in particular, we're type A people. We can schedule things down to the minute. We have it so dialed. And so I know a lot of people are like, I can put in a 20-hour week. Okay, you have 20 hours physically available, and now you're sleeping 4 hours. This doesn't make sense. So I think, I'd love to give a very specific metric, and maybe someone else here will, but I think for me, it is asking yourself very honestly, do I have the time to recover physically and mentally from these volumes?
Alex, what say you, being a person that is currently increasing their training volume substantially?
I think, again, Hannah like nailed it for the amateur. So I guess I'll just kind of share my personal experience on why I increased my volume. And it was just like, if you look at like the stimulus, I now need to see fitness gains or to like get to the next level, like the TSS required in a week is X, right? And if I did that in 14 hours versus 20 hours, then the load is very different. And to Hannah's point, the recovery is very different. So it's like, I could do a lot of high intensity sessions to get it in 14 hours, and that may not be able to recover from because they're just such hard workouts. Or I can increase the volume and do more 4 and 5 hour endurance rides and then sprinkle in those intensity days and achieve a higher TSS. And it's not something that happened overnight. It was through a lot of discussions with my coach and other coaches and just athletes in general on their experience with volume and how like they kind of push up against limits. And for me, it was just, if not now, when kind of thing. It was just, if I don't ever try it, I'll regret it. And if I try it and fall flat on my face, then I'm okay with that as well. So it was something that was worth a try, because for me, and with that, I don't want it to sound pompous, but I think for the majority of people, they're not pushing up against their limits currently within their constraints. So and for me, the limit was probably just the time on the bike. And so I was acknowledging that and realizing that I could attempt to get to the next level through this way. Also with my physiology, like at Leadville, like 4 hours in, Mr. 4 hours, I guess, like just a light switch, just
you're saying
gone.
Not us. Yeah.
So it was just you're I
looking
fell
at
off a
doing
cliff.
longer stuff. So it's, you need that too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then even in XC, there's a lot to show that volume helps even in a 90-minute workout, which logically for me took a long time to fully understand why I need to ride 5 hours to go fast for 90 minutes. But
particularly at your level, right? Because that kind of decouples for a lot of us amateurs, in the sense that like you said, we're probably not bumping up against those limits like you are bumping up against those limits because you're racing at World Cup level. So that's best of the best, whereas the majority of us are not racing at World Cup level. It's a bit different.
Well, in this conversation, I think the majority of us are.
That's true. We have a weird, we have a weird makeup here, don't we? Chad, did you have something to add in on this one?
Yeah, it's really simple. It's when your workout stops scaring you. And it sounds like I'm trying to be clever, but I'm not. I mean, if you look at your workout, if you look at everything that's laid out for you, especially breakthroughs or just your harder, higher quality workouts, and you're not a little bit worried about them, it's time to up adjust, because you've adapted, and not just psychologically. Even psychologically, you can get plenty toughened up to the point where this is going to be a hard workout, but I know I can do it based on what I've done before, as opposed to, oh, I don't know if I can do that. Mm-hmm. That is worrisome, but I'm going to give it my best.
You said that, Chad, because next week has 2 of those.
Every week should have those, unless it's a recovery week. You have to be challenged. Otherwise, you're not progressing. You're not improving. So if you've reached a point where you're comfortable with everything that's on your menu for the week ahead of you, it's time to ask yourself, is this really all I can do?
And the only thing I would add is it's only to, I guess, modify a bit of what Hannah said or add to it. I think for me in my life, the best indication that I could increase my training volume would be a decrease in work or family or otherwise life stress. If I saw a decrease in stress, like income streams, so to speak, in other areas, I would say, okay, I can increase the stress coming from the training side. That's how I personally view it, because I can do, like, I've done high volume training this year. And I think that some of that training is water landing on a saturated sponge, in the sense that I have enough stress coming in from all aspects of life that I'm not getting that full benefit, causing me to even think that I might get more benefit out of doing mid-volume training that maybe pushes the needle up a bit more, less in terms of time, but is more specific, perhaps. I don't know. So I've been following like the polarized plans that we have and testing out those, and then a combination of going back and forth between different blocks, but following them to completion. And it's been really educational this year to go through that and to see that my body doesn't respond fully to just, the traditional polarized format, that it needs something else, but that also that polarized format's a great way to get in a lot of overall stress, but perhaps not the specific stress that I need to really move the needle where I need it. If I didn't have, a normal life, in the sense that, with all the different responsibilities that could cause stress, then maybe it would be different. So it's all worth considerations.
The importance of the fluidity comes into, like, work stress kind of goes like this, and so does life stress. To Hannah's point, you never know, what's going to happen with people in your circle or anything in life. And I think kind of rolling with those punches, but also understanding their effect and being able to adapt to that. I think as professional athletes everyone in the last, 16 months, it's the name of the game has been adaptability. Like, is that race going to happen? Is it not? Am I going to be able to go there? And I think the athletes that have succeeded are ones that really enjoy the process too. So it's like, I think this is a fun part of it. I think Jonathan and I were talking about my increase in volume, and it's like, it was a fun challenge because it's somewhere between, I know I can achieve it, and a BHAG. It was like, maybe I'll just not be able to do that much training, but let's just see.
If you like this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up.
If you didn't like this video, you can give it a thumbs down, but let us know what you would have done differently in the comments below.
If you want to see more of these videos, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want to become a faster cyclist, check out TrainerRoad.com.
Do it.